Well, let's start the show. And the first segment of our show tonight is done by Frenchman's River Model Works. And this is really an announcement for the company with James and Ann Cleveland as the owners, and Tom Farrell, who is going to be building the model that's going to be done in this build along. So, James, welcome. Hope you enjoy being here, and thank you so much for doing this build along. And Tom, thank you so much for doing this build along. James, welcome.
Thank you.
James, I got to tell you, Tom is how I found you. I'd never heard of your company before, and he was raving about you and one of the models that he was building, and that's why I contacted you. And I tell you the truth, after meeting you and your wife, I tell you the truth, you got a great company going, and with you taking over the production of Tom York's, all of his new products coming out, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works out for you. I wish you the best in it, because it's nice to see Tom back in the design business for models.
Yeah, we're really excited about that.
When is your first kit coming out with one of his?
Well, actually, we've already put one out. That was a recent one. It was the A1 cleaners that he's just released, and we've got several more in the lineup here.
You know, Tom York's about as close as we have to a celebrity in the hobby at the moment. He is just an artist with these models. I have so much admiration for him.
Yeah, he is he's the best.
Well, James, you want to tell us a little bit about your company?
Well, we started off doing scenery details back in the 80s, tree stumps, cactus, just some basic stuff. And then decided to go into model ships and boats for the model railroad industry. And it's kind of grown since then. We've wanted to get into some building kits. And my wife and I have done a few building kits, and then we had the opportunity to purchase a line of Thomas York kits. And we've been really excited to get those back into production, and have really enjoyed that experience.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, listen, you and Tom want to talk maybe a little bit about the build along kits that you're going to be doing?
Sure.
Go ahead, James. Tell them then the kit and the model number and the what.
All right.
Yeah.
We've got a build along that Tom is doing, that's going to be an O-scale lobster boat kit, number 95, and then a O-scale lobster shack kit, and that is number 525. And then there's also if someone wants to follow along, they can also choose an HO scale lobster boat or an HO scale lobster shack. So we've got a discount code that they can get through Newtrax for a discount on those kits from us.
And all that information is on our website, newtraxmodeling.com, including photos of both the ship and the lobster house. And it really becomes, to me, it becomes an industry. If for a modeler, it's kind of different than what you normally see on a model railroad, and that's why I'm so enthusiastic about this one. I think it's really going to be something different, and I know Tom is enthusiastic because he loves building the boats.
I've opened up that both kits and looked them over, and of course, the shack is a resin casting, and it's all in the painting. So it's the artistry of putting together the lobster shack. But I have plans to put it on a platform mounted against a cliff, so I have a little twist to it. And the boat itself, I built one of the fishermen, I built one of the boats already, a boat already, and featured it on this show, and just wonderfully detailed, and they go together very easily, and the detail on these kits are just extraordinary, and they're easy to put together. And again, it's the artistry's in the painting, really, not in the quote assembly. They're relatively easy to put together. Threading the rope and the chain is the hardest part, but they're just beautifully detailed, and we'll be featuring the techniques and how to paint resin. There'll be a lot of focus on how to paint them so they're realistic, and weathered properly. Yeah.
Well, and one of the nice parts about it is James is offering a 20% discount on both of the kits, and that's a significant discount off the price of it. So, James, thank you so very much for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Like I say, it's on our website, and the code is all in caps, and it's NEWTRX, and it's good between September the 1st and the end of February 15th, 2024. So you got plenty of time to get the kits, to make sure you get the kits, make nice Christmas presents, and look forward to everybody showing the finished models on the My Build segments after you get them built.
If you don't have room for a lobster boat or a waterfront on your layout, I mean, you can always put one on your mantle as a showpiece, but the lobster shack could be used as along the line structure. It would fit right in. It doesn't necessarily have to be a quote lobster shack. It can be placed along the line of the railroad, or in a mountain scenery, scenic overview, or anywhere on your layout. So, and that one's all in the painting. It's already assembled. So I urge you to support this guy. He's making some beautiful stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I agree.
Appreciate it.
And James, we really do thank you so much for joining and wanting to do the Build Alone on the show. Tom, are there any special paints, tools, anything that somebody needs to maybe have that they don't have right now in order to work on these models when you start the build?
The only special paint that I would ask people to get would be the Tamiya primer, which is a very light primer that you can spray these resin castings with. You can use an automotive primer, but that's a filler primer, and it's a heavy primer. If you buy the Tamiya primer, I don't have it in front of me here, but I've called it out in a couple of my presentations. But it's a very light primer, and it'll give the paint something to hold on to. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. For some reason, it's escaping me what the name of that Tamiya primer is, but it's just a light gray primer. You can get at Hobby Lobby or any few remaining hobby shops. Yeah. So.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for James or Tom? I'm sorry?
Tom, I think you're trying to think of fine primer.
Yeah, it's a Tamiya fine primer, and Greg's used it, and I think Dennis has used it, and I'm sure all of you have probably used it. But it's unlike an automotive primer, which is also a filler. This is just a very light primer, and you don't want to cover up any detail. For example, one of the models that I did from Frenchman River is the decking has a lot of detail on there, and you don't want to put a heavy paint on the decking or you'll cover up the detail. So I recommend that if you buy anything advanced, you buy that fine primer. Sure. And we can use any kind of paint. You can use these craft acrylic paints or the Tamiya military paints, for example. But that's my only. You don't really need very many tools. an X-Acto blade, some sandpaper or a file, and you're pretty much in business. You know, tweezers. That's about it. Yeah, 3 tools.
Well, I'm looking forward to this, guys. So thank you so very much. And James, thanks again so much for wanting to do this for the viewers. Really do appreciate it. And thanks so much for the great discount.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tom, thanks so much.
Yeah.